McDonald's almost lost control of its own restaurants, not because the burgers were bad, but because the company was growing too fast.
Hello, welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order, please?
ご注文はお決まりですか?
Quarter pounder with cheese.
And last but not least, the wonderful crew at McDonald's.
McDonald's?
McDonald's.
They're McDonald's.
By the late 1960s, franchise owners were quietly changing the system, replacing equipment, adjusting recipes, cutting corners to save money. Customers were starting to notice. And inside McDonald's, one man believed the entire company was about to break. His name was Fred Turner.
What's your name?
Fred Turner, sir.
Nice work. Fred Turner. Fred Turner.
A kitchen worker who had worked every position in the restaurant, and he believed something dangerous was happening. McDonald's success was turning into chaos. If the system failed, the brand would follow.
Don't buy every company program. You know, it's okay to turn them down.
But the decision Turner made next didn't just fix the problem. It built the operational system that now runs more than 40,000 McDonald's restaurants around the world. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how that system works and why it became one of the most powerful business models ever created.
This might be the best hamburger I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, we aim to please. McDonald.
There is something almost invisible about McDonald's. You can walk into a McDonald's almost anywhere in the world. New York, Tokyo, London, Chicago, Johannesburg. And within seconds, you know exactly how everything works. The menu feels familiar. The ordering process feels automatic. Even the speed feels predictable.
There you go. Have a wonderful day.
That level of consistency across more than 40,000 restaurants does not happen naturally. It is engineered. And the architect behind that system wasn't the founder. It wasn't Ray Kroc, the man most people associate with the Golden Arches. It was a quiet operational thinker who started by cooking burgers. And the reason he became so important is because the system he inherited was already beginning to fail. In the early days of McDonald's expansion, the company was growing at a breathtaking pace. Restaurants were opening across the United States faster than almost anyone believed possible. Cities that had never seen a McDonald's suddenly had one. Then two, then three. From the outside, it looked unstoppable. But inside the company, something far more dangerous was happening. Growth creates opportunity, but growth also creates pressure. And pressure exposes weaknesses that small companies rarely notice. Ray Kroc pushed expansion relentlessly. Move faster, open more restaurants, capture markets before competitors could react. Fred Turner saw something different. Where Kroc saw opportunity, Turner saw risk. Kroc would storm into kitchens yelling about cleanliness. Turner would quietly rearrange the grill line to save 12 seconds per burger. That tiny improvement might not sound important, but multiplied across thousands of restaurants, 12 seconds becomes hours of lost productivity every single day. And that is exactly how Turner thought, not in single burgers, in systems. Turner began his career inside the kitchens in Des Plaines, Illinois, cooking burgers, managing shifts, studying how restaurants actually operated. By 1960, he had worked nearly every position in the restaurant. He knew a burger took roughly 90 seconds to cook. He knew fries cooked for exactly 3 minutes at 350 degrees. But more importantly, he understood motion. Every wasted step inside a kitchen slowed the entire operation. Every delay multiplied across thousands of customers. While other leaders focused on expansion, Turner focused on process. Where should the fry station sit relative to the grill? How many steps should an employee take to assemble a burger? How quickly should food move from grill to counter? These questions sound small, but small inefficiencies multiplied across thousands of restaurants can quietly destroy a company. And as Turner studied the system more closely, he began to realize something troubling. The system was beginning to crack. McDonald's had a problem few customers knew about. Restaurants were expanding faster than operational discipline. Complaints started appearing. Cold fries in Pittsburgh, undercooked burgers in Phoenix. In one Detroit restaurant, Turner discovered something worse. The franchise owner had replaced the approved bun toaster with a cheaper model to cut electricity costs. The bun scorched on one side and stayed pale on the other. Customers noticed immediately. Turner stood inside that kitchen during lunch rush, watching the line slow down. Orders piled up. Employees argued. Customers walked out. The problem wasn't burnt bread. The problem was inconsistency. Individually, these issues seem minor. But across hundreds of restaurants, inconsistency becomes dangerous. Because when a brand promises familiarity, variation becomes the enemy. Turner began visiting restaurants personally. What he found alarmed him. In Chicago, a franchise owner had replaced the official freezer with a cheaper model. The meat spoiled. In California, another restaurant stored fries incorrectly to speed up cooking. Customers received soggy bags. Each owner believed they were improving efficiency, but each small change weakened the system. One restaurant became slightly different, then another, then another. Soon the brand itself began to blur. Turner understood something many executives overlook. Customers rarely notice excellence, but they always notice inconsistency. Inside McDonald's leadership meetings, the debate intensified. Some executives believed the company should continue expanding rapidly, open more restaurants, capture more markets, move faster than competitors. Others believed the operational system needed to be repaired first. The tension between speed and discipline became the central strategic question. Fred Turner had already chosen his answer. If the system fails, the brand fails. And when he eventually gained the authority to act on that belief, his decision surprised almost everyone inside the company. When Turner became CEO in 1973, many people expected dramatic changes. A new product, a bold marketing campaign, something visible. Instead, Turner did something far quieter. He standardized everything: cooking times or equipment requirements, supplier approvals, training systems, restaurant layouts. Everything became precise. Everything became repeatable. Franchise owners pushed back immediately. At one franchise convention in Chicago, a group of operators confronted him directly. One owner stood up and said, "Fred, we bought these restaurants because we're entrepreneurs." Turner listened carefully. Then he replied with a line that would become legendary inside the company. "You didn't buy a restaurant. You bought a system." Some owners left furious. A few eventually left the franchise system altogether, but most stayed. And something unexpected began happening. Their restaurants became more profitable. Consistency improved. Customer trust increased. Revenue followed. Turner had proven his point. The system worked. But Turner also knew rules alone could never protect the system. People had to be trained to protect it. So he expanded one of the most unusual institutions in business history, Hamburger University. Despite the name, it was serious.
Wow. Here it is, the famous Hamburger University.
The first campus opened in 1961 in Elk Grove Village, Illinois. 14 students attended the first class.
Hamburger University with Ronald McDonald.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, Ronald.
Today's subject, the Hamburglar.
Managers studied operations, supply chains, restaurant leadership. They studied the chemistry of the French fry, the physics of drive-through speed, the psychology of customer flow during lunch rush. Training manuals were rewritten repeatedly. Every instruction had to be simple, precise, impossible to misunderstand. Managers practiced procedures until every motion became automatic. Because Turner believed consistency is not created by rules, it is created by habits. Today, Hamburger University has trained more than 275,000 managers worldwide. And once those habits spread across the company, McDonald's growth became something entirely different. Not chaotic, not fragile, systematic.
Very important life skills about, customer relations and most importantly, running a multi-billion-dollar company.
By the 1980s, McDonald's expansion accelerated again. Only this time the foundation was stronger. The company expanded internationally, Europe, Asia, Latin America. And everywhere McDonald's opened restaurants, the system traveled with it. That's why a McDonald's in Tokyo feels familiar to someone from Chicago. The architecture of the experience is identical, because Fred Turner's philosophy was embedded into every restaurant, sometimes in ways most customers never notice. Look closely and you'll see one example printed right on the McDonald's fry bag, a yellow line running across the side. Turner added that line in 1972, not for decoration, for consistency. It told employees exactly how much salt to add without measuring. One small visual cue, repeated billions of times, protecting the customer experience. Today, McDonald's operates more than 40,000 restaurants worldwide, serving nearly 70 million customers every single day. Most customers never think about the systems behind that scale. They simply experience the result: speed, familiarity, reliability.
Let's go for your drink then.
Fred Turner eventually stepped away from McDonald's after decades of shaping its operational philosophy. But the system he built never left. Managers still study the manuals he helped write. Employees still follow the same kitchen choreography he designed. And every restaurant still teaches the same three principles Turner insisted could never be compromised: quality, service, cleanliness. Inside McDonald's, they simply call it QSC. Whenever the company follows those principles, the business thrives. Whenever it forgets them, problems appear quickly. Turner's legacy was not a product. It was a structure, a system strong enough to keep running long after he stepped away. The next time you walk into a McDonald's and everything feels familiar, remember that you are experiencing the result of one person's obsession with operational precision. An obsession that transformed a growing burger chain into one of the most powerful restaurant systems in history. And if you order a Big Mac in Bangkok and it tastes exactly like the one in Boston, that isn't luck. It's the system Fred Turner built, still running, every minute, in kitchens all over the world. Next time on The Business Code, we explore the decision that transformed Nike from a performance shoe company into a cultural movement. Because sometimes the most powerful strategy in business is not selling a product, it's selling a belief.